Hey, guess what's happening? I got a little project going on today. First off, in regards to my camping, I've had a few more opportunities come up for some camping this summer, and they're kind of like off grid, so there's no electric hookups or anything. And this thing, you could use it without electric. I mean, it does have a marine battery on the front, but that battery would drain. I mean, if you were running the LED lights in there, you might be okay for a while, but it wouldn't run any of the other appliances. So your refrigerator, freezer wouldn't work, air conditioner wouldn't work, microwave wouldn't, none of the water heater, none of that, not even the water pump could run. Probably only for a minute or two off of that marine battery, and then it would drain the battery. So, I've often wanted to get a generator for this thing. And I've looked at them, and I hemmed and hawed. I couldn't quite make up my mind. But I actually went and pulled the trigger the other day. After extensive research, and wanting to make sure I had the right generator for that unit, I went to Harbor Freight and I bought this dual fuel Predator 5000, and it definitely has the power to run the air conditioner and everything else in that Hemi. It also comes with propane. You can hook this up to a propane canister and it'll run on propane. It'll also run on regular gasoline. Now, the problem that I've had is this thing weighs over 100 pounds. And I can't really lift it without hurting myself. And I've got to figure out how to get it up on the tailgate of my truck. Well, my son and I brainstormed a couple different ideas. I thought, well, it does have the wheels, see, and it rolls pretty easy. And then it also has this handle. You push this button in, and that'll pull all the way out. And you can lift it up and roll it like this. So I think you could probably get it up a ramp, but then you got to carry the ramps with you and everything else. You noticed I've got a web strap on the top here. Well, what in the world is that for? I did another thing. I bought a truck bed crane, and I actually removed it from the bed of the truck with the crane, but I had a problem. Now, you'll see this mount here for the crane. It slides down over that. So the apparatus is removable. You can take it out of your truck if you want. This gets mounted permanently, though. It bolts right to the bed. The instructions say bolt it directly to the frame. Well, if you go up under my truck and look, there's really no frame there to bolt it to, and that would be a little difficult to try to figure out how to do that. And I didn't want the base, out here where it's going to impede loading and unloading stuff. I wanted it as far over to the edge as possible, and that's in the directions. That's what it shows, to mount it over along that edge. If you want, when this is installed, this will swing all the way around and go flat up against the side of the bed for, transporting. And then you just pull this pin out here and you can swing the crane around. It also has a telescoping arm, so depending on where you put this pin, sliding it out, of course the further out you go, whatever you're lifting, it reduces the lift rate. But it did lower my generator to the ground. The problem was the bed, as you can see here, you know, it isn't a flat surface for this to bolt to. And when it was under load, I mean, I don't know if you could tell, this is tilted a little bit. It actually kind of went this way. So this deck really isn't strong enough to support that base. That base is too small, you know, and the bed itself isn't really thick enough to support that either. So again, my son and I brainstormed a couple different ideas, and I came up with this solution. He had a plate of 3/8 inch steel. So I've got that primed and ready to go. And when I'm done, I'll paint it black. I've got some spray paint. I'll paint that thing black so it'll blend in with the back of my truck. And then what I'm going to do today is take this plate and I'm going to figure out where it's going to sit here, and it'll extend way out here. So it'll be a much broader base, and then I'm going to drill and bolt that right back down there on top of that big plate. And that'll give it more stability, so I won't get that, you know, it'll sit perpendicular, and the crane will work for lifting my generator on and off of here. And it's a pretty simple task once you get everything all set up. Right now I got to take the bolts off though. I'll show you underneath here. You have these two brackets that bolt up underneath there that are supposed to give it some stability, but you know, still you have the stability lengthwise but not sideways, so that's where it got the flex in it. But as you can see, there's no frame here really practical enough to bolt that crane base down to. So right now I got to get my wrench under here and take these bolts off. Remove the base and figure out where to drill the holes in that plate. Drill the holes, and I'm probably going to have to take a run to the Home Depot and get some longer bolts too, because these bolts, the way they are right now, when the bolts are tight, they're almost flush with the end of the bolt. And if I add another 3/8 inch, I'm not going to be able to get the nuts started on them. So I'm going to have to take one of those bolts to Home Depot and make sure I can get the right size and go from there. So yeah, I got a little bit of work cut out for me today. And then this evening, I got a dinner date. Yeah, with a woman. My daughter. It's a belated Father's Day treat. She's treating me to dinner tonight. So I want to get this work done today. I'm not going to get it finished because once I get the plate drilled and everything, I got to paint it, and then it's going to have to dry. And then probably tomorrow I can assemble everything. And it'll be ready to go. perfect alignment on my hole drilling without a drill press, without machine tools. Just got to be a little accurate with your measurements, and good with the eyeball too. Now that's ready to be primed, or actually painted. I'm going to paint it black so it, doesn't stick out white in the back of my truck. And then I'm going to run to Home Depot and get, bolts that are maybe a ½ inch longer than these. And then I can reassemble it and my crane will be up and running. And I'm pretty sure this is going to work this time. Well, I got my metal plate painted and it's dry. So I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put it over there. See if I can get the bolts in. I did go to Home Depot and I got some longer bolts. So it should be ready to assemble at this point. Okay, all the bolts went in. So the holes were drilled on spot. Now I got to crawl underneath here and bolt these two brackets back up under there. And then I think this will support the whole thing much better. So we'll tighten all that up. I'll put the crane back on there. We'll see how it works. Oh. Well, laying on your back, reaching up fully extended as far as I could reach to get those washers and nuts on there. Whew, what a challenge. Got everything all tightened up. That's on there solid as a rock. So I'm pretty sure it's going to support the crane. I'm going to put the crane back on there and we'll see how it works. Get up a little higher. There you go. And that swings all the way around like that. All installed, ready to roll. Now I can crane up the generator, load it right up, and I think it's low enough that I can even close my tonneau cover. Now this boom is extendable, so I can slide it out. If I slide it all the way out to there, put the pin in, that's supposed to be able to crane up 500 pounds. There you go. It works. And the base is solid enough it didn't even move. Swing it back around here. And out past the gate. And down she goes. Take it all the way down to the ground. I like it. Of course, I had to jury rig a little extra here to get it to actually hook up, because I just didn't have enough, length there to hook that chain up. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 carabiners on there to to match up to the hook. It works though. It's all I wanted. You know, that I could load and unload this thing by myself. Of course, a lot of the time, I'll most likely have some help. But when I don't have help, when I'm camping by myself, that'll be a lifesaver. What would one of my videos be without some gardening? I got some new lilies that are blooming along the garage here. It's like every week something different blooms around here. I like it. I love the flowers. Well, what do you think? I clean up pretty good, don't I? I'm going to meet my daughter and I want it to look decent, you know. I mean, I think we're going to go to a reputable place to eat, so I didn't want to look too bad. What about the hat, though? I always wear a hat. I've always worn a hat. I do take my hat off when I'm in church. And, you know, it depends. So I usually take my hat off for dinner. Because I was always told you don't wear a hat at the dinner table. And I mean, you will see me in some videos without a hat, depending on what I'm doing, what I'm involved into. But for the most part, I usually wear a hat. I wear a hat when I'm outside working in the yard. I wear a hat when I go into town. I just always have a hat on. Obviously, don't sleep with a hat, but so I don't know. Do I leave the hat on? Do I take it off? Well, if I take it off, then I got this big bandage there sticking out like a sore thumb, and that's a little embarrassing too. So I think I'll leave the hat on, and then when I get to the restaurant, I'll take the hat off. Well, it's about time for me to hit the road. I got maybe a 45-minute drive to get there, and I'm kind of looking forward to this because I don't get to see my daughter very often. She doesn't live that far away, but we just don't get together that often at all, unless it's, you know, some kind of special event. So, what a beautiful day, though. Well, kids, if you've enjoyed this video, hit me with that thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe and continue to join me on this ride. Until next time, I'll catch y'all later.